Catholic Diocese of Wichita is changing its school vaccine policy. Starting this fall, families will be able to claim religious exemption from any required vaccination.
Parents were informed by letter sent out last week. Cale Chapman talked with one of those parents who does have some concerns. Cale?
Like Rachel, since the letters went out to families last week, opposition to this change has been growing. There's now an online petition which already has several hundred signatures. The change will impact all 41 schools the Diocese of Wichita oversees, not just those in city limits.
We just got a letter. There wasn't any. That's what I'm confused about.
Katie Phillips and her family received a letter from the Catholic Diocese of Wichita saying next school year, families would be able to exempt themselves from any required vaccinations. That's left her with many questions.
Why now? This came up back in 2021 and faced a lot of backlash at that point, and they reversed it. So I thought it was kind of a done issue.
The diocese says the decision was made by a task force made up of clergy, school staff, physicians, and parents. But Phillips says her family was never asked, and information released by the diocese doesn't say who was involved.
It says in the letter and on the diocese website that they consulted physicians, but what physicians? Did they talk to infectious disease specialists? Was the decision unanimous? If it wasn't, what was the dissenting opinion?
Bev Bruce with the Sedgwick County Health Department says if a majority of kids in a classroom go unvaccinated under this policy, more people will get sick.
You know, the best way to prevent diseases is through vaccination, and anytime that your immunization rates start to drop below that threshold of herd immunity, you run an increased risk. Now, if you have a classroom full of mostly unvaccinated children, there's going to be a lot of those children that become ill.
Phillips says she doesn't feel like the policy matches her Catholic values.
Our Catholic values are meant to promote protection of the vulnerable, and I don't feel that this is doing that.
Bruce says the best way to protect your child from getting sick or catching an illness from another child is to get them vaccinated and to follow basic personal hygiene protocol like washing your hands. We have reached out to the diocese for comment, but each time we've been told no one is available.